Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Ultimate Spider-Man Set 76004, the Spider-Man Spider Cycle Chase. This set contains 237 pieces, also contains 3 minifigures. Those minifigures, which we will get into when the package gets opened up, those minifigures are Spider-Man, a very impressive Venom, and Nick Fury. It looks as if Nick Fury is flying some sort of shield vehicle. It kind of reminds me of, I'm trying to think of that Ninja Turtle vehicle that Shredder had back in the 80s toy line. Was it the Shell Razor? No, it wasn't the Shell Razor, the Knucklehead. I don't remember what it was, but it kind of reminds me of that. It also looks like Spider-Man's got some sort of hover bike. I kind of color that as a little bit of ridiculous. If I had a ridiculous color, that would be the color I would use for this. It's a little bit of a ridiculous bike. Up at the top, there's Spider-Man swinging away. Swinging away. And speaking of Spider-Man, on the top there is the actual size of that Spider-Man minifigure. The actual size. Still, for the life of me, I can't figure out why they don't color in this piece, the little crotch piece, and his boots red. They've also done that with Superman too. They only seem to print the top half of the figure, and then they give him the full lower color legs. Spider-Man, could you not have simply just given them colored boots? I don't understand why, but needless to say, on the back of the package, thtum. That's the sound. I probably have not demonstrated that correctly. It looks like the vehicle goes from regular driving vehicle to hover vehicle. It is on par with a DeLorean. You can also see that the bike wheels fold out. With a little bit of customization, could easily be a Batman vehicle too. You had just a swap of some Lego pieces in there. And then you have Spider-Man shooting his web at Venom, who also looks like he's got just a whole mess of something all over him. He's got tentacles, he's got some claws, he's throwing something at Nick Fury. It looks like something that Pythona would throw at the Cobra Troopers in G.I. Joe the movie. I don't know what's going on. I do know though, you can go to lego.com/superheroes. That I do know. I also do know that I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Set 76004 Spider-Man Spider Cycle Chase. Stay tuned. And with Set 76004, you get yourself a small comic featuring Spider-Man on the front. There's Venom down below there. I think that's Beetle and Nova, and then Dr. Doom up the top there. Just quickly have a look through the pages here. I wonder if we're ever going to get a Lego Spider-Man. That would be kind of a neat game to get. I like the Lego Batman quite a bit. It's Dr. Doom down there. Plotting. Plotting no good, I'm sure. And there's Venom and whatnot. There you go. And on the back, some figures and other things that have already been released. And that aside. Of course, you also get, with it being a Lego set, you get yourself an instruction manual. Always crucial to hold on to these. You don't want to lose these. This will allow you to build the set, or you can just build from your imagination. That's also one thing that not only Spot likes to promote, but also Lego. Imagination. Moving those out of the way, let's first have a look at the minifigures that you get in this set. For starters, you get yourself, moving in here, you get Sam L. Jackson, Nick Fury. It's not really Samuel L. Jackson, but it's Nick Fury, as many of us know by now, through the Avenger movie and all his cameos. He's kind of got like well, he's got a blue top, he's got basic black bottom slacks, he's got an eye patch. He does also come with a gun, which I actually don't have. Surprisingly here, I didn't put the gun out. It's basically just a small handgun. There's no back printing, but you do see the rest of his eye patch. That's good. Lego standard rotation in the head. His arms rotate, and hands rotate, and then his little legs move. That's your standard Lego body articulation. Nick Fury, right there. You get yourself Spider-Man, which is not the first Spider-Man that we've ever gotten through Lego, but some improvements have been made. I like the large eyes that they've incorporated into Spider-Man. I also like the fact that he's got printing not only on the back and front of his chest, but he's also got back printing on his head as well. Still, though, one thing that makes me scratch my head is why, oh why, they don't give Lego bodies. Something I mentioned before, why don't they give the Spider-Man here, why didn't they give him the red waist and then red boots? They've done it before. It's not simply a case where they like to give singular colored bottom bases or bottom legs. Why they can't put red there, and they can't put, like, at least you could put a little indication of a boot. They've done that with Wonder Woman, and why couldn't they have just done that with Spider-Man? It looks like he's missing something in the lower legs. I like the minifigure. I just wish that the lower leg area could have been fixed. And lastly, I guess the main reason why I picked up the set was because we also have Venom. Venom is currently sporting his tentacles, his symbiote tentacles that is indicated with the packaging that you can have the figure included with. I don't know if I'm really going to keep him with all this. I mean, you can just simply take the head off here. By the way, these all independently move. You want to move them out if you want, or move them in, or whatever you want. You just take this piece off, providing it will let me take it off. There we go. That comes off, and then here, this whole piece just slides off, just like so. Put the head back on, and there you have Venom. Also, I like the fact of taking the piece off, because if you have this extra piece, which I'm reaching off right here, it raises his head an extra little bit, and it makes his neck way too long. So I'm just inclined to leave it out. I don't know if I'm really a big fan of his face. I love Venom, but his face looks a little too fangy for me. Whereas if that was just regular teeth, I think I would like it a little bit more. Or if you could incorporate a tongue or something. It's a little too... I don't know, he's kind of got more like animal teeth going on there. But at least he has this symbiote print on the front, on the back there as well. There you have Venom. Moving along to the vehicle, or actually, you know what? There's a couple of accessories too. Spider-Man does come with his webbing, which you can do a couple of different things too. You can either just take the last piece and peg it into his hand. You can have Spider-Man with his web, and then this could just kind of wrap around somebody or whatnot. Or you can also take Spider-Man and just peg his hand into one of these little links, like so, and you have something like that. Which, I guess if you wanted to, you could also take this piece and peg it into itself, and then you have Spider-Man with a loop of webbing. Venom does come with his own accessories too. He comes with these. You know what, this looks like something you would award a Klingon at some sort of Klingon Olympics. He gets two of them. They're a little ridiculous. On the box, and actually on the instruction manual, these appear to be thrown at Nick Fury and his hover vehicle. But I don't know, I just think these are kind of just weird. They're just a little weird, and they look like, again, something you would give a Klingon. You would give this to a Klingon. I don't know what that would mean in Klingon. I probably insulted somebody by saying that. So these are kind of a waste. Looking at the vehicles, you get yourself Spider-Man's bike. This is pretty ingenious, the way that they've done this. You have Spider-Man's bike, and as I mentioned already, a couple of swap outs, you could easily turn this into something for Batman. But he's got some tires on the front, tires in the back, which is really neat. But one thing I love about this is that you can take the tires and fold them out. You see that? Take the tires and fold them out. And you've now got a hover bike. Perfect for Spider-Man, really perfect for Batman. You can take Spider-Man, peg it into place here. You got Spider-Man on his bike. There's a bit of sticker application. There's a sticker that you apply on the front that has the spider symbol. There you have Spider-Man on his hover bike. I really don't know if I would give Spider-Man a bike, but yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess the cartoon, they kind of did that too. Spider-Man gadgets and whatnot. But the bike is very ingenious. That is definitely a fantastic idea, to be able to take a bike that is essentially a one-wheeled bike and front and back and be able to fold it open like that. That's neat. That's a really neat touch by Lego. And lastly, you've got Nick Fury's Jeep vehicle, whatever you want to call it. There's some sticker application on the front, in the license plate on the back, and there's also the shield crest on the trunk there. I think that's the only sticker application on this particular vehicle. This is done really well, and I was noticing as I was building it, it's a very polished vehicle. Something that always drives me crazy when I build Lego sets is windshield. Whatever they seem to do with windshields. When I got this piece out, I assumed that this piece was going to actually be flipped this way and it was going to stick further up. They actually have taken the time and they've decided to use the windshield. Normally this piece would peg down here and then this windshield would stick further up. They actually took the windshield and flipped it around so you get a much more sleeker looking windshield out of it. It again just gives a really polished look to this Jeep, if you want to call it a Jeep. There is some side dash controls there. Exact same they're not decals, they actually are already pre-printed. Got a little steering wheel going on there. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. The Jeep also has a few gimmicks. You can take the back spoiler, I guess if you want, and this can flip down. I guess in some ways it could be protecting the back end of the Jeep, so it's not getting fired on. And then what you can actually do is this whole back section, you put your thumb right here. You really don't have to. You could just put your finger on there if you wanted to, and you can pull this. Oops. You can pull this whole compartment out, providing Spot doesn't pop the whole piece off. Snap that into place. You know what? We'll just pull it out from there. You can lift this whole back section up, and then this rotates forward. And then you've got yourself a flick fire missile. The flick fire missile is right there. Again, the interior is all finished. You all put in the instructions. They actually have you put the smoother finished bricks on the inside. Areas that you probably would not have even seen, because this is kind of either folded down or folded up. You're probably not going to see it anyways. But really nice added touches. Flick fire missile does fire, as you can see right there. And then when you're done, this whole section can just fold down. Having it independently hinged like this is really neat. Provided, you know, again, this piece doesn't keep popping off. This folds back down like so, and then you've got the closed off Jeep as well. Aside from that, it freely rolls. If you're looking at this and you know, if you have this set, you'll probably notice too that the Jeep, in the instructions, they actually have the spokes facing out. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I always look at this always looks like a wagon wheel to me. Something that looks really old, like it should be, you know, something you would see in an older car. So I flipped it around. You can do either or. The instructions say do it that way. I really prefer to have it this way, where you actually see like almost just like rivets. I think that, for me, that looks a little more military-like than having the spokes. So it rolls really well. I mean, you know, it rolls pretty easily. But, you know, the one other feature it has, too, is a la DeLorean. You can take the tires and you can rotate them inward. Which, this piece right here, this whole side framework, you know, if we weren't getting back to feature Legos, which I think we are, if we wouldn't, You could easily turn this, with a few customizations, you can turn this into a DeLorean. You can have the little hovering DeLorean. It kind of also looks like the roadsters that the teenagers from Dimension X also use. Although they had a much sleeker looking car. But same idea, you know, that I always like a hovering car. Anytime you can take a car and hover it, that really is cool for me. I dig this vehicle. It's so clean. It's so finished. With any Lego piece, whenever you build a vehicle, sure the underside's still kind of Lego-esque, but the top end of it is so finished, so overall finished, that I really dig the design of it. I've built a couple of vehicles already, like the Two-Face vehicle and the Batmobiles and stuff like that. This is definitely, as a polished overall finished look, this is definitely one of the better ones I've built. So I definitely have to commend Lego. They have, I think, gone above and beyond having this design the way it is. This even, I mean, this impresses me one of the most, and that's just so ridiculous that it's just a windshield, but I'm really super impressed by that. This set, I think, is about $25 to $30 respectively, depending on where you're going to find it in stores. It actually just worked itself out that I found this set at Toys R Us, and this set, as well as other Lego sets, were on sale. I think it was like 25% off. So Spot got a little bit of a deal on the set, but I definitely think this is a well worth set. I bought this set really initially to get Venom. What I ended up getting, though, was really two neat vehicles. Well constructed and very ingeniously designed. The fact that you can, again, fold out the tires on the bike, and you can do that on this really, really nice polished vehicle. This is by far one of my favorite recent sets to pick up. This set as a whole, I'm going to give this an 8.5. It's not super expensive either, so if you want just a really neat build and you know, two fully finished vehicles and a couple of really cool minifigures, this is definitely a good set to go with. Today, once again, today's collectible spot, bringing in the box once again, we were having a look at the Lego Marvel Superheroes Ultimate Spider-Man Set 76004 Spider-Man Spider Cycle Chase. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.